Howdy everybody, ArgonMatrix here, welcome you to episode 6 of Dark Souls Remastered. Still on the heels on that high of beating the bell gargoyles and ringing our first bell of awakening here. Let's just press on and see what else this place has in store for us. There is actually a new NPC who has appeared just at the base of this ladder down here now that we've rung the bell of awakening. Not entirely sure where he came from or where he was hiding during that whole fight. Really could have used this guy's help, but he certainly seems like he has something to say to us, just judging by his posture. What's up, my friend?
Greetings. I am Oswald of Karim, the pardoner.
You've got a voice of a pardoner. That much I can say for certain.
A warm welcome. Cometh thou to confess? Or to accuse?
I'm a little scared and simultaneously a little turned on. Okay, yeah, well we can learn a gesture, which is actually one of the most disrespectful gestures in the game, honestly, in my opinion. If you like kill someone and use that gesture, that's pretty... Oh, it's just rubbing salt in the wound, my friend. What does he got for sale here? He has some nice stuff, I think. Indictment allows you to, like, if you use that after you've been invaded or after an invader has killed you or something, then you can put them on this Book of the Guilty list, which is, it has its own different benefits and effects. It's a whole big system. I've not actually gone into the whole, because this is all to do with covenants, a lot of it, and I haven't gone into that whole detail, or into a lot of detail with that in my previous playthroughs. He also has this miracle here, Karmic Justice, for 40,000 friggin' souls, which is a really complex miracle to actually like explain. Temporary auto counter versus heavy damage. For each sin there is a punishment, and it is the task of the goddess Velka to define the sin and mete out the punishment. So yeah, it's like, basically what this miracle does is that when you have it on, when you take a certain amount of damage beyond a certain threshold, then you'll just unleash this like retributive strike, I guess, that strikes the enemies around you and causes like massive damage to them, more or less. Also have Velka's Talisman here, which scales off of intelligence instead of faith, but does cast miracles, which is kind of interesting. A medium for casting miracles of the gods. This black tuft of hair that serves as a talisman belongs to Velka, the goddess of sin. Cast miracles not by drawing upon faith, but intelligence, yeah. Not a whole lot of information about Velka, other than the fact that she is the goddess of sin. And this guy is speaking on her behalf, apparently. Oswald of Karim. You have the Blood Bite and Poison Bite rings, as well as the Rings of Sacrifice if we really want them. I already have one right now, and that's probably all I'm going to need for the time being, I hope. I'm not going to worry about buying either of those rings.
Anytime. It is only human to commit a sin.
Well, but I'm undead, not human. Well, alright, I'll see you around, dude. Maybe. I don't know, it's kind of an out-of-the-way place to come to. I am going to go ahead and actually use a homeward bone just to get out of here a little bit faster if I can. I want to save these souls and not worry about losing them to some random hollow soldier on the way back to the bonfire or something. This should bring us back to Firelink Shrine, I believe. Which kind of tempts me to use the souls just for a little bit of leveling purposes, but I think I'd rather go over to Andre and see if I can buy some Titanite and upgrade this halberd a little bit further. But before that, let's brag in this guy's face. Hey, got that first bell awakening. You hear that ring, pal? Huh? 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 You should get this halberd. Okay, I'm being a little rude.
Why, what a surprise. I didn't expect you to make it. Oh, somebody rang the bell. Wait, was it you?
Yeah, and I got this helmet to prove it.
Do you? I don't know how you do it. Well, don't stop now. Only one more. But it's going to be suicide.
Yeah, he's not wrong, honestly. Down in the Blight Town is one of the most notoriously despised areas among Dark Souls players, but for good reason. And it's like, I hate it, but I love to hate it, and it's a cool area. We'll come across it when we do. Not too much longer after right now, honestly. Petra's still hanging out here, nothing much doing there. Let's make our way back up to the Undead Parish over this way and see if we can get to Andre real quick. Guess there wasn't really much of a point in using the homeward bone now that I think about it. If I'm just going to be going through this Undead Parish anyway, I would have had to deal with these guys regardless, these enemies that I'm about to face, but that's alright. It was worth it just to rub it in that crestfallen warrior's face. Now we got that first bell of awakening. He seemed very pessimistic about our opportunity, or about our possibility of doing that. I just want to double check, actually, before I go back to that bonfire. Are these guys guarding anything? There's like 3 boulders around here. Oh, shoot. I got that one's attention. I want to try and get away if I can. Okay. So we only got his attention for right now. This should be a relatively simple fight. One-on-one via boulder. Ooh, gosh. But he is a little... I have to be wary of my roll as well, because it is a little bit heavier than normal thanks to this helmet. For a minute I thought I got 2,000 souls out of that boulder, and I was like, what did I do so special? But it was not the case. I'm just making sure there's no like random items hidden in the alcoves there, and it doesn't look like there are, so we're just gonna be on our merry way. Don't mind me, fellas. Taking my 1 leather-booted foot, and I'll be on my way. Our lucky leather boot. More of a leather shoe than anything, honestly. I always backstab that guy. I know it's like not, like, it's not required to kill him, obviously, but it's just so satisfying. How can you see a guy like that just begging for a backstab? He doesn't even turn around for like a full 5 seconds after you run behind him, because he's got to take the time to swap off his crossbow. It's just so... just begging for it, dude. That's all it is. So let's make our way back down to Andre here. We should definitely be able to afford our next couple of upgrades, I think, because we're going to need, I think, a total of 4 Titanite shards for our next 2 upgrades, because you need 2 for each. And then we should be able to, and we might even be able to afford the 3 for the next upgrade to get up to +5, but beyond that, we're going to require a little bit more fine-tuning to our weapon, is all I'll say. Oh, we actually already have 2 Titanite, because so we got some from the boulders, that's right. Let's go ahead and reinforce our weapon. We could have done this at the bonfire ourselves. Reinforcing weapon does simultaneously repair it, by the way, so don't worry about repairing before or after a reinforcement or anything. Now we're going to go ahead and buy a couple extra Titanite here. Still doing very well on our soul front. Let's go ahead and reinforce this even further. Oh my gosh. Heavens to Murgatroyd, we're going to be too strong for our own good here. But I would like to use the halberd for at least a little while going forward. We're going to buy 3 more. Reinforce. It should only require another 200 souls as well. And there you go. It's not even in our list anymore to upgrade. That's because, like I said, it requires Ascension. So you can see modify equipment, but we don't have the special ember required for blacksmiths to ascend weapons, so we're going to be on the lookout for that for sure. Before I do move on here with our next order of business, I will show off real quick this gargoyle tail axe, because we picked that up from the boss fight in the previous episode here. We do require a little more dexterity if we want to wield it, but it's kind of a funny weapon, because it's like, it's got this... It's a massive axe, number 1. Like, look at that compared to most other axes in the game. And then number 2, it's got like this weird like flexibility to it. It's hard to like show off, but like I think it's like a strong attack there. Yeah, you can see like it's got like a weird bend to it when you do a heavy attack. It's just kind of like a licorice wand or something. It's so weird, but I'm not going to worry about that. It's a pretty fun weapon. I might upgrade my dexterity and use it a little bit in the future, but for right now, let's just press on here. Could level up, but I don't know. I'm a little bit greedy when it comes to hoarding souls sometimes, because I know that there are things that I'm going to want to buy in the future. I don't know. I'm gonna press on at least to our next bonfire. We shouldn't die between now and then. I hope anyway. It's really not that far, and all we gotta deal with is these salad boys, so it should be all right. Although these guys do have some nasty attacks that you gotta be on the lookout for. Despite their silly appearance, they can put on quite a performance as far as fighting goes. Darkroot Garden. So this area is actually... Oh gosh, hello. It's not like 100% optional, but for the most part, it's optional. You don't have to explore this place high and low. You don't have to do that in most areas in Dark Souls, but this one in particular has a few areas to it that are definitely out of your way, and you don't really need to go there. But of course, we're going to be going for the 100% completion, no boss left behind route here. That involves the one optional boss that lies in this area, as well as the one non-optional boss, of course. That blooming purple moss clump actually is a pretty valuable drop. It heals a condition known as toxic, which is basically poison dialed up to the max. And it doesn't come into play all that often, but down in Blight Town, it's going to be especially important to have those on hand. You also see some messages kind of littered around here. Illusory wall ahead, and they are not lying. You actually want to definitely pop this open for a free bonfire, because because otherwise the run back to this door is a little bit more taxing. Not even that bad, because there's only those like weird plant enemies, but it's honestly just a little more annoying than anything. Locked by some contraption. You actually need the Crest of Artorias sold by Andre in order to open that up. But it's not required to open that up. It's actually just an optional shortcut, so don't worry about that for now. I will go ahead and level up here, I think. Just see how many levels I can even get. We can get 7. I might just start cranking into strength, honestly, because I've made no secret of it, I hope, even though I'm using a weapon that's not necessarily defined by its strength ability, but I am a strength boy through and through. There's a few weapons I'm going to be wanting to use. I'm going to sort of rotate through various weapons throughout this playthrough, but I want to get that strength up there to at least, I think, around 36, because then I can two-hand strength weapons that require 50, which there are a few, at least one more that I can think of that require more than 50 strength, but I can just go without those weapons. That's not a huge deal. So that's one avenue. I could just go up to 20 strength right here. I kind of want to do a little bit of dexterity, just to give myself a little more versatility. It does actually improve our weapon even more than upgrading strength does, I think. I think our weapon scales a little bit better with dexterity than strength. That's not always going to be the case. And we do need to concern ourselves with vitality and endurance as well. Those are very important stats. Not to mention attunement and faith, but we're going to probably get into those a little bit later in the game once we actually have access to more spells. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and dump, I think, let's get our strength up to 18. So then we can two-hand weapons that require 24 strength, which I think there are a select few. And then for right now, since we don't have any other weapon we have our sights set on, I'm just going to go ahead and bump up our... I'm going to bump up my endurance here because it boosts my maximum quit load. Might let me roll a little bit faster if I meet a certain threshold now with this gargoyle helm. Doesn't seem like it, so I'm actually going to take this off for the time being, and I'd have a faster roll now. I could actually also... Are these heavier? They are heavier, okay. That's a bit of a concern. I could take off my traveling gloves and take on the gargoyle helm instead. Just try and balance out here. Now it's still a little too heavy. That's alright, we're just going to go without the helm then. I think having a fast roll is a little more important, I guess, than having a helmet. Despite the fashion that it provides, I won't deny that is a pretty fashionable helm for sure. And the defense it provides as well, there's something to be said about that, but having more invincibility while we're rolling is going to be a little more viable, I think. Oh, crap. Alright, so I'm a bit cornered here. This is a bit of a death trap, and I should have remembered that a little bit better, because these guys, when there's 3 of them, like one-on-one, we were doing fine against them up to this point. When there's 3, you got to be a little more careful, especially because they have extremely long range on their attacks. Even longer than we do with our... Oh, crap. Oh, I thought that guy was about to hug me. They have this scary-ass hugging attack where they just drain your brain, basically, for all that it's worth. Blood red moss clump and purple moss clumps. Both also very useful. The purple reduces poison buildup, and the blood red reduces bleed buildup, as you might have guessed. Pass through this fog wall. This is not yet a boss, although we are actually fast approaching one. You might look at this tree a little funny. Even without the message on the ground here, you can see the roots of this tree are moving. Try attacking. Yeah, it seems like the best course of action right here. And the tree cannot fight back, so you can just pummel into it for all that it's worth. And that is, I guess, technically a special enemy that won't respawn, so don't worry about that. Not that you'd be too concerned about fighting a tree again regardless. And that leads to this, this Play-Doh gelatin-looking motherfucker. What are you doing here? You remind me of something you see in, like, a Harry Potter movie or something. Green blossoms are pretty useful, actually. They speed up your stamina recovery for a brief time when you consume them. I'm probably not going to be using them too much. Another tree here. Apparently turned in to look at us. I always wonder if these trees have, like, a head at all. It's moving towards me. I'm a little scared. Maybe I was wrong, because he looks like it would... I don't know. The last thing I want to be wrong about is the fact that a tree could attack me, because I don't want to see what kind of scary attack a tree is going to lay into me. You just hear someone yelling, "Timber!" in the distance, and all of a sudden the tree just falls on your head. That would probably be a one-hit KO if I had to imagine. Alright, you gotta be a little careful walking around here, because there are some scary enemies Not the least of which is this guy right here. He's playing dead at first, but gotta be mindful of that. Alright, if we can lure him back this way. Because we want to stay away from that ledge if at all possible, because there's actually a bunch of enemies. Oh my god. I thought I had outranged that a little bit. That's okay. Oh, he might get me here. Oh, crap. I'm bad at rolling this guy's attacks, apparently. Let's just go ahead and heal up there. Okay. This guy's not too bad if you can get to and stay like in close range here with him. He does have that shield, which is pretty devastating at blocking attacks anyway. Alright, roll out of the way of that. Oh crap. I think one more hit and I'm done here, so okay, well we got him. We got him good in the end. Those stone warriors are no joke if you're not careful. But like I was trying to say, if you can manage to stay up in their range, then it's actually not too bad. And this is what I was trying to be wary of, is getting in range of these guys. They're so silly. I don't even know what to make of these guys. They're like not explained. I mean, a lot of enemies aren't explained by the lore of the game. They're just kind of there to be there. They do drop a lot of green blossoms, apparently. So that's good for farming that if you're ever in need, I guess. You got a free soul of a proud knight as well. I gotta remember that I have those consumable souls. I am notoriously bad at remembering that I have consumable souls in my inventory. There are so many times just in like my own playthroughs of this game as well as the other Dark Souls games where I am like just shy of the next level, or I was like, oh man, I need another 1,000 souls in order to buy this thing from this way out of the way merchant. Oh well, better move on and come back in like another 5 years. No, man, just pop into your inventory and see if you got a soul of a lost undead or something that might be able to help you out. So I really got to get in the habit of doing that. Hopefully I will. We got another stone-faced warrior here. You can do a little bit of damage to them before they actually stand up. And I think... Oh, I thought that last attack was going to get him, actually. These guys require 5 attacks, at least at that range. A stone greatsword. Okay. That might be something worth considering. I don't think I've ever actually gotten this drop. It is a rare drop, as you might have surmised. It needs 40 strength. So if we were going by... We need 30 strength, I think, right? Well, hold on. 28. 28, if you add half of that is 14, so 42. Okay, so you only need like 28... I think 28 strength in order to two-hand this, which we're actually not too far off of. Oh, 10 levels is a little far, especially once you start getting into the higher levels. The Stone Knights who guard the Darkroot Garden with this moss-covered greatsword. The same magic which created the Stone Knights is imbued in the sword. Unleash this power by wielding the sword in 2 hands. Okay, so that actually has a special effect all its own. There are some weapons like that that have special moves. The Wolf Ring is a very good ring I'm actually going to equip right now. Yeah, there are certain weapons. We don't have any beyond this, beyond the Stone Greatsword, apparently, that have those special attacks, but I'll try and point them out when we come across them. So the Wolf Ring here boosts poise. It is also one of the special rings granted to the 4 Knights of Gwyn. The Wolf Ring belongs to Artorius the Abyss Walker, which you might have already noticed his name popping up here and there. He had an unbendable will of steel and was unmatched with a greatsword. A stone greatsword? Not quite. But what this does do is it gives us a nice little ghostly aura here, but it also boosts our poise, which makes us able to stand up to a little bit more suffering, oh crap, without having to be knocked out of our attack animation. So that is going to be pretty nice to have. Was there not another guy, another one of these plant dudes like hanging right around here? Oh yeah, there is. Ask and thou shalt receive. A halberd to the dick. To the thorny little dick that you have. I don't know. I'm feeling a little crazy today, apparently. You know, some days you just feel like that. You just got to go with the flow, however the commentary's taking you. I don't know, man. I'm not going to rest at the bonfire because dealing with these 3 guys that hide in this alcove is really not worth getting the... Well, actually, I wouldn't even get my Estus back because I haven't kindled the bonfire that we just recently rested at. If you do hug this left wall here, enemy ahead, you can actually find this little bitty alcove, which has this well-camouflaged snake. You might actually not notice this the very first time you come through. No, don't kick them. Just there you go. And pillage the corpse for a partisan, which is a spear-type weapon. Oh gosh! I forgot that. Oh, there is one of these guys hiding in an ambush around here. I mean, obviously now, but Man, should have remembered that. Yeah, but the Partisan is a spear weapon, so it is a little more dexterity heavy than I'm willing to invest in probably. I don't mind investing a little in dexterity just for weapon requirements, but anything that scales well off of dexterity is probably not going to be my forte in the long run. Our weapon is not the best for dealing with these guys at the altitude that they're at. But, oh man, you're going a little snap crazy. You get out of here, you weird twig bug. I don't even know what to make of these things. Such a weird enemy design in this game a lot of the time. I didn't even really notice. It didn't really cross my mind how many weird enemies are in this game until I started talking about it. We got another stone warrior we got to be on the lookout for here. There's also another one a little bit hidden back there you might have seen. I don't think we triggered him. That's kind of what I was looking out for as I was turned around there. But I think we're okay to just deal with this guy one at a time. Oh! Don't let him get that spell off if you can help it, because it actually is called... Oh, what is this? Another Stone Greatsword. I was kind of hoping for the Stone Great Shield, because I know they can drop that as well. But I'll take another Greatsword, I guess. We'll dual wield them at some point if we ever get up to 40 strength. Alright, buddy. See if I can sneak up on this guy. You're not able to get backstabs off on these guys, because they're a little too big for that. You can only really do that sort of like a proper backstab to humanoid-esque enemies. Whereas, I know this guy is humanoid, but... You know, pick on someone your own size is kind of what I'm saying, as far as backstabs and parries and ripostes and stuff go. At any rate, we're doing all right so far. We do have to be a little careful, because as we sort of... I'm doing a little... This is kind of the strategy I take for this section here, is there are some nice items in the middle of this little wooded area, but in order to get to them, they're pretty well guarded by a lot of enemies. But if you go in concentric circles, sort of slowly closing in on the middle section, that's usually the safest way in my experience in order to get there. So yeah, you can see a very tempting little item there just waiting on the ground. Also, you see a couple of stone soldiers there, and these thorny bushes in the ground, which are actually enemies. We can't interact with them until... Oh wait, oh we can actually interact with them. Okay, you know what? I just taught myself something new. I never knew. I guess I never even tried, like, stabbing into the ground where these guys are before they woke up on their own. That's actually extremely useful. That's that hug attack, by the way, you want to watch out for. Also watch out for that. That's the magic. If we get too close to that guy now, then we're not going to be able to run or roll, which, as you can imagine, is pretty devastating, especially when paired with one of these salad fingers guys. Okay. Yep. Okay, there we go. And we're done. If you have a shield during that, it's not as bad, because you can shield that guy's attacks. And, yeah, obviously not the best for my sort of playstyle.